don't want to sit up. Should I? Should I at least like set up? Let's see. I guess. Just lay right here. It's crazy how as you age, as you become more socially aware, your problems and the stresses you face change so drastically. Like, I only know my own perspective and my own life experience, and I just compare my life to like 2 years ago when I was 3 years ago when I was like 19, 20, and the biggest problem in my life was experiencing heartbreak, and how that was the only thing I could focus on because it impacted me so much. Like, I couldn't live happily going through that and just going through that, learning all the lessons. And now, 22, trying to learn about the world, because if I don't know what's going on, how can I contribute? These past 2 years, I spent a lot of time learning myself to learn what skills and attributes I have to help and to contribute. And now, just watching the world and everything it's always gone through. It's not like any of this is really new. You know, genocide, classism, racism, poverty, homelessness, all types of phobias. Like, that's just scratching the surface because I really just can't even think of it all. But it's overwhelming. And it's stressful, and as an empath, I guess I would consider I'm not, because I do feel deeply, and everybody else's issues or pains, I feel very deeply, because you just feel such a like helplessness. Like, I want you to be okay, but I don't know what to do to fix that. And that's just how I feel in this current state of the world. Like, I know all I can do to immediately affect positive change is to love and to spread the message of love. That's what I know as of right now to be true. And I will continue to do that. I will remain steadfast in that purpose of mine because I feel so called to it. Obviously, let's see. Love, anyways. Backwards, love, anyways. Love, anyways. Because the world needs it. God knows everything could use some more love. But still, that doesn't take away the fact that just the state of the world constantly is just terrifying. Like, people losing their rights and their freedoms left and right. And here I am, so privileged to just be able to talk about it. And I try and do my part. I try and go to the protests. I try and learn about these situations. I try and talk to my friends and spread awareness. I try to donate when I can, the little that I have. And even that is like, is that the right thing to do? Of course, it's not a bad thing to do. But is it enough? You know, will it ever be enough? And it's stressful. It's stressful because I know I'm not alone in these feelings, which gives me a sense of hope in a weird way, because if many of us are feeling like that, we're destined to then eventually collectively come together, right? I'd hope so. If we all agree that we're all suffering, then Are we destined to come together and make real change? I hope so. But how? When? Why not now? You know, and I know these are just maybe wasted, I don't want to say waste of space questions, because they need to happen. We need to be in our minds like, why is this happening? Why are humans inflicting so much suffering on each other? You know, in the name of what? In the name of power, in the name of money, in the name of status, in the name of what? What are we doing all this for? Why are we watching all this happen? Why are we remaining complicit? What do we do? So I know these dialects need to happen. Sadly, I only really have this with myself. Of course, there's like little conversations here and there with people, but we're so quick, I'm guilty, to feel like somebody I'm conversating with about any of these topics, if I don't agree in theory in what they're saying, and I may totally just misunderstand, and they may also just totally not know how to articulate it in a way that I probably agree with, I just shut down. We just shut down. We don't want to hear it. They're our enemy. And it's so sad, because that's a problem. You know? All I feel like right now I can do is have a sense of control of my own life, and in that, it is to try and be good to people, be good to me, have a sense of purpose. I've talked about my brand, my business that I'm going to create. I've been in the creation of it for like a little bit over a year now. I'm learning about the sustainability of fashion and clothing, and I've known about the issue. We all know about the issue of fast fashion and how overconsumption and hyper disposability is an issue, and how that same belief system is in everything we do and are. We're just so quick to just not care about anything to the extent that it needs caring for. So I'm hopeful that my message can be spread into everything. That really is the goal of Love Manifest. It's not love manifests in a relationship, love manifests in friendship. It is love manifests in everything. In everything. And not only do I know that to be true, because I know it, it's a gnosis, an inner knowing. It's a one thing I have true faith in. Because as humans, we're so imperfect. And so what's going to save us is going to be much bigger than us, much bigger than me, much bigger than the message I have. It's going to be the collective consciousness of knowing that there's more to us, and that love has got to be ever present. And we've got to make it a point to be loud about our love, or it's gonna come at the cost of all of us. And I know we won't be here forever, and I know everything comes to an end, but I want future generations to at least have a chance, you know? His life is so stressful, you know? It feels like you're not doing enough, or you're doing too much, and I know that's just the pressures of society and the mind, but how can I not think that? Because if I don't think that, like, do I care enough about what's going on? Like, if I'm just like okay with everything that's going on, is there a problem in that too? Yeah, it feels like it, and I don't know all the answers to the world. God knows, I don't know, but it feels like you have to care strongly and loudly about these things. I'm just trying really hard to be a good person and do good. And sometimes it's embarrassing. I feel embarrassed. I feel like I'm doing it wrong. And I'm sure I am. And I'm sure I'm not, because there's no wrong and right way to be. You know, and again, I know I can never be perfect, and I don't want to be. Because what even is that? But it doesn't change the fact that I get very stressed that we're not doing enough. And I'm new to the world. Like I always say, I'm so new to this. So I'm open. I need to be open. We need to be open to learning from people who have been here longer. But also be open to the young people who are just curious and maybe have new ideas, because clearly a lot of things of the past have not worked. We need reform. We need abolition in many areas, and just to grow from the ground. And I wish and I pray that it's just a matter of time, that all these things are happening and they're in fruition, and that I will be a positive contribution to these movements. Yeah, I just pray for humanity. I pray that we come to our hearts and we come to an understanding and a sense of curiosity for each other, and just radical empathy to just listen to each other and understand, even when it feels like it's impossible to understand somebody else's situation because we've never been in it. We have proven to be capable of the impossible. We have God within, and we also have a lack of it. You know, so the nuance in that, the nuance in all of it, we need to just gather our thoughts, gather our experiences, gather our freaking powers, work together. And it's hard. It's really hard. But for as long as I'm alive, for however long that it will be, I really promise to do my very best to be good in every sense that I can be, and to grow and change as the world changes, and not be a product of the world's pain. I can't completely not be affected by the world's pain because I live in it. I am of it. I'm surrounded by this environment. This is what energizes me. The energy of the world, of course, is gonna affect me. But I will try to rise above when it's necessary. And it's hard. It's gonna be hard, but I think it's gonna be important to at least try. But yeah, that's kind of just where my mind's at right now. I'm grateful to be here. I'm so grateful to love. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful for this experience. I just pray that there can be a little less inequity. I've heard that it can't be equal, and I want to understand that in some sense, in some aspect, because I know without suffering, or I can understand that without suffering, it just there's no life without suffering. But I do think we can reduce the amount of suffering that we have inflicted upon each other at the expense of nothing that matters, nothing that really matters. So that's all. Love you, world. Please know that love manifests. And whatever that means to you, it's supposed to mean something to you. Because it means something to me. And it's personal. And if it can mean something to you, I think that's great. That's a great thing. Because it just shows where your heart is. It shows that you too have a vision in the midst of a time that feels really hard to envision a way out. Yeah.